Hi, my name is Sean Velasco from Yacht Club Games, creator of Shovel Knight, and welcome to the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast.
This is the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast.
Welcome into episode 47 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast. I am your host, Courtney Osborne, and today I am joined by Miles.
I need a catchphrase.
You need a catchphrase. And we're mourning the loss of a loved one once again.
Poor Lou has been taken from us by the Black Gross Booty Death.
The damn butt cancer is back.
Actually, don't worry, folks. I'm sure he'll be back next week.
Yes, he'll be revived. Now, in all actuality, reality, whatever, he's moving back into college housing or whatever, and he doesn't have internet yet, so he'll have it back up hopefully next week. So he'll be back on for episode 48. And that wraps up episode 47. See you later. No.
Bye.
Good times. No, but it is the post Gamescom edition, so not a whole lot of shit happened. Every big announcement came last week. There are some littler announcements this week that we'll go through and then move on to questions. We got several questions this week. Anything what? Sorry.
I'm just sure everyone's happy that they're not seeing like a 2.5 hour time count on this one.
Yeah, I'm sure too. And we didn't get a single message from anybody saying that they had listened to the entire thing. So I'm assuming that nobody listened to the whole thing.
Wait, was there some kind of bonus for listening to the whole thing?
No, we said at the end, I believe, if I'm correct, that if you're still listening, tweet at us or let us know or something like that.
Oh, okay.
And I don't think anybody did.
We could just have lazy listeners, because I listened to the whole thing. I didn't even do that.
Yeah, well, probably that probably is the case. And I was gonna say, well, maybe they did, because we got a lot of questions for Phantom Breaker Battleground.
Maybe.
But at the same time, we also advertised that we wanted questions for that. So that's probably where they saw that, and they just skipped the podcast entirely. But yeah, so anything big going on this week for you?
No. What about you?
Yeah. I mean, yesterday marks the beginning of the busy season. And by that I mean game after game after game after game. Yesterday, Tales of Exilia 2 and Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment both came out. And the next week Infamous and Metro, and then Destiny after that, and blah, blah, blah. But so I played about 9 hours of Tales of Exilia 2 yesterday. I'm reviewing it.
Gracious.
Yeah, it's a long game. Everywhere I see average is 60 to 70 hours to beat it.
Wow.
Yeah, and I'm going to try to beat it within the week. So that means I need to put in easily 7 to 10 hours every day to try to beat it within a week. And
that sounds like too much of an obligation.
Nah, man, I love it. I'm all about JRPGs and Tales games and Final Fantasy and stuff, and playing all day. So, but yeah, so whatever. The first 9 hours of the game, quick recap or review for it is that it's good. It's more of Tales of Exilia, and with additions, new things for the battle system, new upgrade system, and new story, obviously, new characters, and with returning characters. So it's pretty good. I really enjoyed it yesterday, and I'm looking forward to playing it after we get done recording and stuff.
Sounds good.
Yeah, so let's move on to the news from nowhere. Yes. Actually, we're going to start off with one that's not on our list, one that I just saw breaking. Minecraft on PlayStation 4 failed final testing.
Oh. Wait, did they list why?
The 4J Studios is now in the process of fixing it. Last week they announced that they're waiting on Sony's final test. We're fixing, but we need to go through the process again. The developer tweeted. This means that there will be a delay, and it's not likely that it's going to be released this month. no reasons why, just that it failed.
That's a shame for people who were really excited for it.
Yeah, that is a shame. And bad news for the Vita and Xbox One versions as well then.
Yeah.
Because it seems like PS4 is their primary obligation. That's the one they really want to get out there. And if now they're trying to fix it, they've got to take more time to make sure the other ones are going to pass as well.
Yeah.
So it sounds like we're looking at a September or October release date for Minecraft on all other consoles. Doesn't affect me,
Yeah.
Not,
I have it on PC, so,
Yeah. And that's the master race.
I'm not going to say that, but that is the better place to play certain games on. So.
Yeah. Point and click adventure games, pretty much. But no, that's well, in first person shooters, but I'm just thinking about what Minecraft is more like. I do want to get it on PlayStation 4 eventually, if it's like, $15 or $20, but yeah.
I can't imagine it being more than that.
I can't either. Sucks for 4J, sucks for all the fans. But yeah,
I would just like to see what went wrong, to be completely honest, because it seems like this is the first time they've ever had an issue with getting something out.
Yeah, well, I've never heard of a game failing the final test or anything. I mean, obviously, we don't hear about games going for their final test often. We hear when they go gold, which is after it's approved. So, But yeah, that's strange news.
Yeah.
Number 2 on the list. Since we're changing the list, let me click enter here, so it'll actually be 2. There we go. Okay, so number 2 on the list is that Amazon revealed the release date for Freedom Wars on PlayStation Vita a few days early. They leaked it over the weekend, and everyone was like, oh, hey, we found the release date. Awesome. But it wasn't confirmed until, I believe, yesterday, last evening, something like that, last night. And it was confirmed that it is coming out on October 28th for North America, and that it will have pre-order incentives. Those who pre-order the game anywhere from any retailer should receive the same DLC that was given out in Japan, and that includes a limited edition in-game formal wear costume, an AAW M2 heavy melee weapon, a TB32H rocket launcher, and a limited edition sticker set, and finally a combat pack medical supply set. I don't know, it's going to cost $30 when it launches on Vita next month, or not next month, in 2 months in October. Mm-hmm. And I'm really excited. Freedom Wars looks really cool.
I have no idea what Freedom Wars is, and I was imagining a character with what I think the gear that you just described looks like. And it sounds ridiculous, but, who knows?
Click on that link right there that I just posted. That has our recent story on it with a few pictures. It's like a open world game where you fight monsters, kind of like a Monster Hunter game in a sense, but not. It's like futuristic, that they had destroyed the world or something, and these fighters have these huge ass weapons, and it's supposed to be kind of like an MMO, but it just looks really, really fucking cool. And apparently it was the most pre-ordered game, I believe, on Vita in Japan, or it was the most pre-ordered game of 2014 in Japan, something like that.
Wow.
But yeah, and it came out 2 months ago.
Could this be the killer app that makes me buy another Vita?
Exactly. It could be. Who knows?
It looks pretty, at least.
Yeah, it does. And it looks really cool. Apparently, when it launched in Japan, it got a lot of flack for being too hard. That it was extremely difficult.
Is it harder than Monster Hunter?
I don't know. I've never played one, so I can't say. But I know that it got so much flack for that they had to actually patch it to make it less difficult.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's something.
Yeah, that says something, but what does it say? I don't know. Yeah. So, anyways, I'm excited. I can't wait for it. I'm glad it's $30. That's a decent price for Vita games.
Yeah. How much? What's the normal? Like 40 to 50?
It's 40. Yeah.
Okay.
Almost all new Vita games are $40 unless they're little games, and then they're less. So.
Well, I mean, I don't know. If I ever have a chance to get my hands on a Vita again, might try this out.
Yeah.
This looks like the most interesting thing I've seen on Vita in a while.
Yeah, that's not. I mean, that definitely is probably true for a lot of people, because there's not a whole lot of big Vita games that come out, and this is a big game. This is a first-party game, I believe. I believe that's what the fuck, Sony Japan or whatever, Studio Japan. I believe that's Studio Japan's game, if I'm correct. So this is a first-party Sony game. Let me look it up so that I'm not talking out of my ass.
I mean, no one's gonna call you out for it.
Oh yeah, it's the internet. Nobody would ever do that. It's being developed Japan Studio and Shift and Dimps, and published by Sony Computer Entertainment. So yeah.
Wow, Dimps. I haven't heard from them in a while.
Yeah.
Well, I guess I hope this is successful. That sounds like a very interesting concept.
Moving on to another handheld-like game.
We shall. So, anyone who's been a fan of Pokemon for a while probably remembers the trading card game. Well, Pokemon Trading Card Online is coming to the iOS products, I guess. I don't know if it's just iPad or if it's iPad and iPhone and all the other whatevers. The news was broken by a very popular dude called the J-Wits, also known as Josh Widenkeller. I'm thinking that's how it's pronounced.
Yeah, I think so.
Via his Twitter page. And he tweeted out a picture of the game running on an iPad, and he said that it was in the works, in quotes. And while it's not known when the game's going to be coming out, it shouldn't be too far out because, the game's already seen a release on Windows and Mac. I think I've actually played it on Windows, to be honest. So, if you've been looking for some new Pokemans to play.
Pokemans?
Yeah.
Did you collect trading cards when you grew up? Pokemon trading cards?
Yes, I did. Did not know how to play.
So that was the same thing as me. I had like hundreds, if not thousands of cards, had no idea how to play, and didn't care about it either. Was not interested in playing the game. I just wanted to collect them.
Yeah, I remember we trade the cards, and it's like, hey, this one has the Hydro Pump, and this one doesn't. It's like, oh, that one's better. It's like, we don't know. We don't actually play. We don't know how the rules work.
Yeah. I would this one's shiny. This one's totally better. And it's like everybody had the shiny Mew card that came with the first Pokemon movie.
Oh, yeah.
It was like, I was like the only one out of my friend group, though. And I'm like, oh my god, I'm the special one. Oh, I was definitely Ash growing up.
Yeah, I made sure my mom took me to see that movie day one. Just to get that card.
Oh yeah, I owned every Pokemon movie as I was growing up until probably high school or so, and then all the seasons, the first several seasons I owned. I was a huge Pokemon nerd. Played all the games on Game Boy. Had thousands of cards. I sold them when I finally sold all my cards. I made $500. As a 15-year-old, I was like, "Oh yeah, rolling in candy money now."
Candy money. At 15, you were still using candy money.
No, it was more like alcohol in new video games.
All right then.
But I'm from Southeast Kansas where there's nothing to do, and so you start drinking at 14. You go to high school parties and stuff.
Oh, by the way, internet, we're not condoning this. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do illegal shit.
Yeah, that's not legal.
Yeah, don't be like me. Come on now, come on. Yeah. So, but I don't own any iDevices like iPad or anything. So
I don't either. So.
I'm definitely not going to be getting this. But it is cool. It's cool to hear.
I mean, it is on Windows and Mac, and it plays, as I remember, just like the physical card game does. So,
I think I played the online or the computer version of it back in the early 2000s. A really, really primitive version of the game. Mm-hmm. But, yeah, and I still didn't get it.
Well.
Moving on.
I don't know. I enjoyed it, but yeah. Moving on. The middle of Earth. The center of the Earth.
Yes, let's go to the center of the Earth, Miles.
Middle Earth, Shadows of Mordor, is getting a season's pass, which, probably surprises all of 2 people. WB Games announced that if you choose to get the season pass, you'll also get a new warband mission called Guardians of the Flaming Eye. That sounds like strange innuendo to me. Trails, or is it?
I think it's Trails. Trails.
Okay.
Yeah.
That just sounds so grammatically incorrect to me.
Yeah, I know.
But Trails of the War missions, Lord of the Hunt beast hunting missions, and the Bright Lord story missions.
Ah, so we have to have a season pass to get story missions. That's fucking cool. Thanks.
Yeah, I don't care about any of that.
No, I mean, until I see a picture of it and like maybe a trailer or something, none of this stuff sounds appealing on paper. Just reading it, I'm like, oh, okay. I don't know what any of that is, so am I really missing out?
Also, that whole Trails of the War missions, that is a turnoff for me.
Yeah, I mean, and part of this is that I know I want this game, and I know I want to play it really bad, so I've basically shut out all information about it, because I don't want to know anything. I want to go into it fresh and just, experience the game new. And so a lot of this stuff maybe I would know had I been paying more attention to every announcement, but I've been trying to shut it out.
I don't think you would, because I've been watching pretty much everything I see pop up, and I have no idea what these things are.
Okay, fair enough. Could be the case.
And I was going to say Guardians of the Galaxies when I was reading that.
Guardians of the Flaming Eye.
Yeah.
Now, are you going to be getting Shadow of Mordor?
I'm planning to, assuming I can, pull together the money for it.
Yeah, and then also pull yourself away from Destiny.
Well, it comes out before Destiny, right?
No, it comes out 3 weeks after Destiny.
Oh, never mind. I'm not getting it.
Well, I mean, at that point,
I'm kidding.
You may need. Yeah, I was gonna say you may need a break, like a single player break.
You say that, but I have had nothing to play for like the past 2 months.
Yeah,
so,
that's true. But you also don't buy games very often.
Well, I'm poor, and a game has to be really good to catch my eye. And well, okay, that's unfair. A game has to really catch my eye to make me buy it, and nothing's really caught me for the past little while. So Destiny is just gonna be like, I can actually play something now.
Dude, you need to get GameFly. That's what you really need to do. That way you don't have to pay $60 for new games. You can only pay $15 a month and just play games at your own pace and just fly through them, and you could play like 4 or 5 a month.
I mean, I only have a PS4, and are there that many options?
Well, no, but there will be this fall.
Well, then I'll just buy them.
Well, I know, but that's still like, $500 worth of games, just PS4.
Well, like for you, yes, but for me, it's like I think I have like...
That's what I'm saying, though, is it would give you the opportunity to play more of them. If you don't, obviously you don't... Sure. You may not be interested in 100% of the games, but if you don't have to pay full price for them and you only have to pay $15 and you could play through several in a month, that would give you the chance to be like, okay, well, Lords of the Fallen kind of looked okay. I'll try it out. You play it for a day and you're like, nope, never mind, send it back. And then you didn't pay any extra for it.
You're right.
Give you an option. Just saying. If you want to do it, I can send you a referral. If anybody else wants GameFly, ask me. I'll send you guys a referral. Help me out. It'll give me a free month.
Yeah, you can send me a referral. I'm not making promises, but you can.
That's fine. Okay. All right. Was there anything else?
Not really. I mean, until we know more about this, there's not much we can say.
Okay. Okay, moving on to the next one, and it is Sony plans to reveal more new games at TGS 2014. Oh my God. Who didn't know that? Who didn't know that, though?
I don't know who didn't know that, but I don't know.
Okay.
It's a silly announcement.
Here's your signs. Sony, Japanese company. TGS, Japanese conference. What do you think will happen? Maybe some kind of a reveal there.
Honestly, it's a conference. That's all you need to know.
There's
something new. It's a conference.
But that's different than saying that Microsoft is going to show off 10 new games at TGS. That wouldn't happen. It's not going to happen. But yeah. So anyways, Shuhei Yoshida, YoSP on Twitter, revealed that Sony still has PlayStation 4 games waiting in the wings for the Tokyo Game Show 2014. TGS will begin on September 18th and will run until September 21st. However, PlayStation Japan tweeted out that their conference will take place on September 1st. This is 3 weeks ahead of the actual conference. So does this mean that the September 1st conference is going to be when they announce their new games, and that they're going to go through their numbers and stuff during the actual TGS conference, or are they going to wait and do it the other way around and do numbers first and then game announcements during TGS? I know that sounds confusing, but that's how they did it last year. They revealed games a few weeks ahead of time, I believe, and then just went through like total sales numbers and had like a business conference at TGS.
I guess that's like the best way to do it, because then it's just, since they're doing beforehand and they're not competing with anyone else at the moment, it's just like, hey, focus on everything we're saying right now.
Yeah.
We know you guys hate hearing about numbers, so just we'll save that for later.
Well, you see, they could do something like revealed all the new games on September 1st, and then say all of these games are going to be playable at TGS on the showroom floor. And then they would give people 3 weeks to be like, okay, these are the games we need to play. We already know everything that's going to be there. And then the conferences there are just the business ones. Hey, we've sold 10.5 million units of PS4. We're up to 9 or 10 million Vita. We're up blah, 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 all that stuff. And then talk about projections and stuff.
Even better. They're like, these are all the games we're revealing. They'll be available by TGS.
Oh, God. The Last Guardian.
That still won't be available.
Yeah, even though that's a bad one. So anyways, but anybody who's, okay, this comes with a caveat. Caviar. Caviar. Do you want fish? These games are not going to be Uncharted. This is... These reveals are not going to be Western games. They're almost all certainly going to be Japanese games, like Konami, Capcom. There was a few more that are like highly Japanese games. NIS, like those kind of people or those kind of companies who are going to reveal, and they're going to be JRPGs and silly games like that. It's not likely that it's going to be the next Skyrim and stuff like that. So if you're excited for it, then more power to you, because I certainly am. I'm a big Japanese game guy, so
I'm always happy to hear about new games, something else to get excited for,
Exactly. New games is something to get excited for. It doesn't matter what kind of new games, even if it's games you're not excited for. But just the whole announcement part.
Yeah. It's just like, what are they going to say? I can't wait.
Yep. Okay, moving on to the next one. Number 6, Resident Evil Revelations 2 has been leaked. French website Gamer in a Box noticed that Xbox.com hosted 2 media images for Resident Evil Revelations 2, pulling back the curtain on the survival horror game. However, since then, Capcom has said that they have made no announcements. So is this a farce? Is it, somebody just trying to make this up? Or did it actually happen? Is this game actually happening? We don't know. But Capcom has gone on the record saying that Resident Evil Revelations sold very well. And then it obviously sold well enough that they ported it to PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360. Mm-hmm. So because it was originally, I believe, a 3DS game.
I mean, yeah, it was. And I think as one of my friends put it, the Revelations, like, they released that as an apology for something else because it was really bad. Whatever was right before it. I don't quite remember. But
hold on, I know what Raccoon City, Operation Raccoon City.
Yes, that was
game
probably
was
it.
Crap. I don't know who could have liked that.
Yeah, I don't know. This news doesn't really affect me because I don't play Resident Evil. Like, I tried playing 4, and I have a very interesting stories about 4 because I tried playing it twice, and I lasted for I think 5 minutes each time.
What?
Like,
because you got scared or what?
Okay, here's the story of Miles' time with Resident Evil 4.
Easily the best game in the series. I have to hear this.
Okay, the first time, I'm at the very beginning of the game. I've been watching my friend play. I was like, yo, I want to try it out. I've never played a Resident Evil before. I want to try and give this one a shot. So he gives me the controller. I'm playing, and I'm like, walking through the village in the first area pretty much. Mm-hmm. And he's like, hey, if you go into that house, there'll be a shotgun. I'm like, oh, that's cool. Awesome.
Oh, no.
I'll have a shotgun. Let's go get that. And I get up there, and I'm like, I have pressed the button. My character is grabbing the shotgun. He's like, oh, yeah, by the way, you'll die if you do that. I'm like, what? And then right then, and my character's just getting cut in half. I'm like, oh, no. You take this back. I don't want to play this. This is sin against God. And then the next time I tried playing was like, I think the next day, I was like, I've been watching you play for like 7 hours again. I might as well try and give it a shot because he was going to make us food or something. I'm like, hey, let's try this out again. And I'm playing, and what are the enemies called in that game?
What the fuck? It's a weird name. Let me look it up.
Well, anyway. It was one of the enemies, and it was like the priest types, I guess. I don't know what they're called. distinct or specifically?
They're the Los Ganados.
Los Ganados. Okay.
Well, no, I don't know. Sorry, go on.
It's fine. So one of them had picked me up, and I'm like, oh god, he picked me up. What's he gonna do? And I shoot him, and I shoot his head off. I'm like, oh cool, I'm good. And then like the thing that comes out of their heads just like explodes out, chops my head off, and I'm like, again, I'm done with this game.
Yeah, that game changed up how the zombies are. Like completely changed it up. I remember the first time one of those things popped out of the head, and I was like, no, fuck this. I was like, nope.
Yeah, so that's why I don't play Resident Evil.
Now, like, so I played the first few of them. I never beat any of the first three. I was too young at the time, and playing it on PlayStation 1 was just not ideal.
Yeah.
Not for a little kid who didn't know how to play games very well. But by the time by the time Resident Evil 4 came out, I had a GameCube, and that's what it came out originally on, and I was better at gaming at that point, and so me and my buddy went out and rented it for a week, and we beat it 5 times in a week together.
Wow.
Between the two of us, like one or two of the playthroughs were together, and the other ones were I would have it for a day, and I would beat it, and then I would give it to him, that kind of stuff or whatever. We literally didn't sleep very much. We didn't do anything else. We just kept playing it. Like I loved that game so much. Scared the living shit out of me the first few times. Basically like you, the whole fucking getting chopped in half by the chainsaw guy. I was like, nope.
It was so surprising for me because I didn't see it coming at all.
Mm-hmm. All right, next on the list.
And another one bites the dust. All right, so I know a lot of people are still up in arms or just remember that whole announcement about Tomb Raider being exclusive for Xbox. Well, it turns out that Shuhei Yoshida did not even know, and he revealed that to Eurogamer.
Second time we're mentioning USP.
Oh, yeah. Yes, it is. He's just such an amazing man.
He is. I love Shuhei.
I know. Is this a quote? This is a quote from Phil Spencer, right?
No, that's a quote from Shuhei.
Okay, all right. I just want to be sure. I keep seeing Phil Spencer. I wasn't sure. So the quote is, "It's very interesting the way the Xbox boss Phil Spencer said, what we are saying is in holiday 2015, Tomb Raider is exclusive to Xbox. So it's open to interpretation, but still we didn't anticipate something like this would happen," Shuhei revealed, adding that he had no idea that the deal was even in place. How could we know? He pondered. Nevertheless, the executive is still hopeful that the game will release on the PlayStation 4 eventually. He says, "I hope that the game will come out eventually on PS4. He stressed, but how can I tell? Other than that cryptic message by Phil Spencer. And recent comments by the Xbox chief have suggested the release will be a timed exclusive, but it's still not clear. Nobody knows. Grab your pitchforks and fire, go to the Xbox head company, I'm joking, of course. Don't do that. That's a horrible idea.
No, I mean, that's crazy that Shuhei didn't know,
Yeah.
Like, you would think that, depending on the timeline of this deal, whenever this deal was done, you think that it would had to have been done ahead of time. Enough ahead of time, because Microsoft is working with Square to develop this game. They're helping them develop it. So you would think that they would know and alert Sony, inform them, hey, Microsoft is helping us with this. You're not getting this game. Something like that.
Yeah.
That's
instead of just surprise.
Now, unless it could have been that Square Enix was already developing, or not Square Enix, I guess, Crystal Dynamics. Crystal Dynamics was developing the game, and then later Microsoft came in. And then, that was a last-minute deal the week before Gamescom, which could have been the case. Obviously, we don't know the behind-the-doors stuff that happens. Who knows how this deal went down, or if somebody else at Sony knew. Maybe it was just Shuhei that didn't know. But
who knows? I mean, I assume he's a busy man, but
yeah,
it's
exactly.
Still just I don't know.
He's taking care of his own stuff. Like the 25 new games that were announced during the Sony conference.
Yeah, and that whole thing about letting us change our PSN names.
Yeah, and adding folders to the UI.
Oh yeah, that too.
Come on, Shuhei.
Come on. Shuhei has a lot on his plate, so I mean, I would understand a little it might not even be a slip up. Like, he probably legitimately just did not know, like, did not receive any kind of emails or anything that was like, hey, we're not giving this to you just yet. But,
Yeah.
it's still a weird situation. Just like this whole situation with Tomb Raider has been very weird.
Yeah, I agree. It's a strange situation for a major third party to make an exclusive game like this, or not so much an exclusive game, but an exclusive AAA game.
Yeah,
because the Tomb Raider is well known, very well known among the gaming community, even among movies. The silver screen. Everybody knows about Tomb Raider, and yet they're making it for one console. That's weird. But
well, I guess in defense of Tomb Raider, at least by the time PS4 gets it, we'll probably get the extra DLC pack.
Yeah, Definitive Edition. Hell yeah. Rise of the Tomb Raider Definitive Edition includes all DLC and upgraded graphics because it doesn't have to be ported to Xbox 360. Fuck
yeah.
Next on the list, Sony has announced that Sucker Punch has had layoffs. In a direct quote to IGN, they said, Sony Computer Entertainment of America can confirm a reduction in workforce has taken place at Sucker Punch Productions. Sucker Punch is appreciative of the tremendous work team members contributed to the infamous and Sly Cooper series, and wishes them the best in their next endeavors. This is cyclical. That's what this is. They just finished Infamous First Light. It's gold. It's coming out next week. And every time a company finishes developing a game, they lay people off.
Yeah, that's true.
That's just the way it happens.
Yeah.
And sorry, go on.
No, I mean, go ahead.
Well, I was just going to say, there's very few companies that don't do this, that we don't hear about. One of them is Naughty Dog. You don't hear about cyclical layoffs like this very often with Naughty Dog, but you do hear about the major people leaving.
Yeah.
But that's not a layoff. That's people leaving, not being fired. But
yeah, I mean, it's never good to hear about people losing their jobs, but it's always better to hear layoff instead of fired.
Yep.
So, at least like anyone who's really worried about this, at least keep that in mind, because this doesn't tarnish their records as video game makers and builders.
Oh yeah, they're not being laid off because they're bad. They're being laid off because their job is done. They finished the project they were working on. And in a cool tweet I saw last night, I believe it was last night, one of the people at Naughty Dog actually tweeted out something like, this isn't verbatim, but they said something like, really sorry to hear about Sucker Punch Productions layoffs, but I wanted to let all workers from Sucker Punch know that we at Naughty Dog are hiring. I was just like, that is fucking cool, Another Sony first party being like, hey guys, come over here. We need people. So that was really cool to see.
Yeah, it's great to see that like the industry is like trying to keep itself up.
Oh yeah,
supporting itself.
For sure. Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. Keep rolling. I can't think of other songs that have lyrics that respond to
moving on up to the east side.
Somebody got a piece of the pie. All right, Wasteland 2 has gotten a release date. I don't even know what Wasteland 1 is, but I'll keep reading.
I was like, you claimed the story.
I claimed it because I didn't want to take all the good ones. Not that this isn't good, people who liked Wasteland 1.
Oh, God.
Inzile? Is that how you say that?
I believe so.
Okay, Inzile Entertainment, post-apocalyptic role-playing title will launch September 19th. The founder, Brian Fargo, announced on Twitter the official Wasteland 2 release date is September 19th, and that the 20-plus year wait is soon to be over. The direct sequel to the original 1998 Wasteland title was made a reality through a successful Kickstarter campaign back in 2012. And Wasteland 2's initial October 2013 release window was pushed back to meet its increasingly ambitious plans and was later slated for an August timeframe, which of course has changed. But hey, revival of old games, it's always good.
Mm-hmm. And that there was actually a typo in there. It was 88. That was I wrote the story on our website earlier, and I wrote it based off of the press releases I found elsewhere, and And everywhere else I said 98, and I was like, wait, 20 plus years, that doesn't add up to be right. But yeah, so it was 88. But I watched some gameplay trailers on this and some just normal trailers.
Mm-hmm.
Not really my type of game, but it looks cool,
Well, it doesn't surprise me why I don't know what this game is, considering that it's a 20-plus year wait and I'm only 22. So I don't feel bad about that now.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a top-down post-apocalyptic RPG.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
like, you're over the top, controlling them, trying to find gear and stuff and survive.
So Fallout?
Yeah, basically, it's Fallout. I think Fallout was... this is what Fallout's based on. Wasteland, I think.
Well,
I may be wrong. That may be... I may be talking out of my ass.
well,
but-
let's just see something right quick.
Yep, okay. A forerunner for Fallout is Wasteland, a 1988 video game of which the Fallout series is regarded as the spiritual successor to.
Okay. There we go. I did not insult anybody by calling it Fallout.
I was not talking out of my ass yet again. Yes!
Wins for everyone.
Yes. Okay, so that wraps up the news from nowhere. Of course, there were other news breaks this week, but nothing significant, nothing huge.
We got the big stuff.
Yeah, we got the major stuff, the stuff that seemed important. Moving on to our review wrap-up. We only had one review this week.
Yep.
But we have several in the coming weeks because like I said, it's the busy season now. Games are going to be dropping like crazy, and so are our reviews. But the one review we did have was a Keep a Strip, Undead and Undressed. Aaron, one of our writers, was the one that reviewed it. He said he put in about, I think, 30 hours or so into playing it, or maybe 20 somehow.
I think it was 20.
And he really enjoyed the game, but it had technical difficulties. He said, a Keep a Strip, Undead and Undressed is a fun time. The environment is great. The writing is some of the most hilarious I've seen in a while, and anyone with an otaku spirit in their hearts will get a warm, fuzzy feeling from this tribute from their way of life, as long as they can laugh at themselves along the way. It looks really obscure because you're fighting people trying to take off their clothes to find out if they're like these alien vampire things. But it's not as like X-rated as you might think because it never shows anything. So it's.
I mean, you see underwear and that's it.
Yeah. But apparently, Akihabara is like fully there, like made for the game, so you can explore it. And like, there's tons and tons of different like customization stuff for clothing and things like that. And I've heard so far from everybody who's played it, some of our fans that have. Or our readers and listeners and stuff, all really, really enjoy the game. So it sounds like it's a really good game. That's good to hear.
Especially for something called Undead and Undressed. So,
yes. And it's on Vita and PS3. So, but Aaron gave it a 6.7 out of 10, which is not a bad score. For those of you who are like, I don't play anything under an 8, that's a good score, especially for a Japanese niche game like this. Yeah. So that's it for our review wrap up, and we're gonna move on to our questions. Like I said earlier, we got several questions. I believe only one of our questions wasn't for the Phantom Breaker giveaway.
Yeah. Looks like it.
He didn't. Tunde was the only one who didn't ask one for Phantom Breaker, but he may have been asking for it. This question may have been for it. He just forgot to include Phantom Breaker in his thing. But or in his subject line, but whatever. Anyways, you want to read that one?
Yeah, sure. So, like Courtney has said, it's from Tunde, pronunciation Tunde Mbimbola. What is your favorite gaming memory / moment? Mine is being fortunate enough to live in Edmonton, Alberta, Canada, and going to the Mass Effect 3 midnight launch. The day I got to shake the voice of Male Shepard's hand. Okay.
Voice actor.
I understand it now that I've read the whole thing. It's just I got to shake the voice of Male Shepard.
Yeah.
Talk to BioWare about the... Okay, I know why I'm having trouble reading this.
Yeah.
Hold on one moment. I like blow up the text so I can read it better, and it like makes everything spaced out weirdly.
Okay.
So I got to talk to BioWare about the work they put into the game and getting kissed by an Asari cosplayer. Also, Lou, which Smash Bros. Character do you want to be in the next game? I'm hoping for the female version of Devil May Cry's Dante Bayonetta. What?
Okay.
That question just... Oh.
So he's asking Lou, which is dead from butt cancer.
Yeah.
Which Smash Bros. Character he wants in the game. So we're going to disregard that one and let Lou answer hopefully next week if he's on.
What are you talking about? I'm right here. I want Yoshi.
I want my butt cancer to be in the game. Okay, so what is your favorite gaming moment or memory?
Yeah, I think that's the crux.
Do you have one off the top of your head?
No, I don't.
Yeah, that's hard. Let me think. Okay, gaming moment. Okay, spoilers for The Last of Us. Skip ahead 15 seconds if you haven't beat The Last of Us. Favorite gaming moment is easily the giraffe scene. Like that moment, like after what she'd gone through. Holy crap.
Everyone loves that moment.
Yep. So that's the moment for me. Memory, however, that's probably different. I don't know what that would be.
Yeah, I don't either. I mean, I guess favorite moment is every time I beat a game, I guess. That feels like I'm cheating, but I mean...
No, that almost goes with, like, my memory or something. Because, I was going to say probably my favorite memory was playing Tales of Grace's F for the first time. Because that was when I truly knew that the Tales series was something special to me. And it was like, once I beat it, I was just like, oh my god, what do I do now? You know, like, there's no more games to play. But, yeah. Anything else you can think of?
Not really. Like, my memory is bad, so sometimes I'm like, oh yeah, I remember that point in that game, then I can't remember it the next day, and I'm like, oh, I'm dying slowly.
Gotcha. Okay, so then the remainder of the questions are for the Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds giveaway. And what we said last week was that if you emailed us, and in the subject wrote Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds, you'd be entered in to win. And we were going to pick our favorite or the best question. And so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 questions to choose from. And we have already... What?
Are we cutting out some of them?
No, I mean, we're going to go ahead and read them.
Oh, I see. My bad. I didn't see that it started at 3. My bad.
Yeah, we're gonna. There's 6 questions, and we already chose the winner of it, but we'll announce it after we read through them all. So the first question is from Jake, and he asks, Mong, how do you feel about the whole Phil Fish situation? Are his actions justified, and gamers are the worst fucking people, or is he overreacting and being unprofessional? Miles, what do you think?
Phil Fish is a tantrum baby. That is my opinion.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't like this person, even though he has made a good game. I do not like Phil Fish. So,
let's see. I think did Phil Fish? Didn't he tweet a bunch of tweets making fun of himself after he was? Oh, he's freaking protected tweets. That sucks.
Yeah, he's like the hit and run kind of person. He'll say something to like inflame a bunch of people, and then he'll like, didn't he like he deleted his Twitter account at one point?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, like he trolled a bunch of people and deleted it. And it's like, you're not a very good person, are you, Phil?
Now, I don't pay a whole lot of attention to Phil Fish because he is such a douchebag. So, like, every time I see stories pop up about him, I just try to avoid it. So I don't know the crux of his argument, but just the question from Jake, he says, are his actions justified and gamers are the worst fucking people, or is he overreacting, being unprofessional? I do think many gamers can be considered the worst fucking people. Without knowing the context of which he was saying this, I agree that the gamers they act like they're entitled, and they're not. They're not entitled to anything at all, in fact. So I do see how Phil Fish could say some of these things, but at the same time, he is overreacting and very unprofessional about the way he handles stuff like this. So it goes both ways. It's I don't know. I hate the guy. I'm not a fan of him.
I kind of wonder who is beyond Cliffy B.
Yeah, that's true.
So yeah, that's our answer, Jake. Just
he sucks.
Yeah, he kind of does. Which is sad because he made a really good game and then turned out to be him.
See, I still haven't even played it. Fez?
Like, I'm not a fan of puzzle games, so I never finished it. But like from what I did play, I was like, this is actually kind of refreshing. This is a good take on puzzle games. It's like got a really good look to it and everything. It was for anyone who doesn't know, it's Fez, and it was free for PlayStation Plus this month, I think. So
yeah,
you can still get it.
Yes, it was. I have it. I just haven't played it.
Yeah, it's free for PlayStation 3, Vita, and PS4. So if you have any of them, then you can pick it up and just give it a try. And it's just a shame because it's like I could see this being something like really. It's like it's already touted as a really good game, and I could see, the person who made this making so much more, and like making more things that aren't maybe puzzle games or whatever. And it's just like then you see who actually made it. It's like, wow.
Yep.
You
the douchebag. Okay.
Yeah.
You want to read the next one?
Sure. So this one comes from Tom. With the PlayStation Vita TV releasing soon, who plans on getting one, and will it be good for the PlayStation Network? Rock Chalk Jayhawk.
Okay.
I don't know what the last thing means.
That's a KU thing.
Okay.
He's I believe located in the area, either in Lawrence or in Topeka.
I see.
Which KU is the Jayhawks. So.
Okay.
But I plan on getting one,
Yeah.
Vita TV. So that's definitely in the plans. I would love to play my Vita games on TV. I believe we went over it last week on the podcast.
Yes, we did.
When this was announced. But will it be good for PlayStation Network?
I don't know what that means though.
Okay. I think what he means is that people don't want to buy the Vita because it's $200, and this will be $99, or you could get the $139 bundle, so it's significantly cheaper. Therefore, giving people access to the all of the PSN titles to be able to play on their Vita TV anywhere, which if they're capable. So basically, you could stream games. You could buy a game on your PS4 and then stream it to your Vita TV later somewhere else in a different room, or you could buy Vita games or PSP games and play them on your Vita or your PlayStation TV, because it's not Vita TV, it's just PlayStation TV. Yeah. So yeah, you would think that this would boost the sales for PSN games.
More eyes, more platforms. So
yep, exactly.
By that logic, it can't hurt it.
And while we're on the subject of Vita or PlayStation TV, last week I was incorrect. I think we talked about it. I was incorrect in saying that that the DualShock 4 wasn't compatible. It actually is.
Yeah, you corrected that in general chat.
Yeah, I was gonna say I thought I corrected it in chat, but not on the podcast. It actually is compatible, so that's good news. That definitely gives me more reason to buy it.
Oh yeah, definitely, because like I have 2 DualShock 4s, and I really would not want to go and buy a DualShock 3 for any reason.
Yep.
Because I did not like that controller personally. So.
Next question is from Eric, and he asks, "What is your opinion on the original Phantom Breaker game?" Funny you ask.
Know that existed.
Yeah. Neither of us are fans of the series apparently, or of the game, because neither of us have played it. We weren't the one who reviewed it or reviewed Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds for our website, but you could look at our review for it for Battlegrounds.
Oh.
What?
Oh, this is I remember this game now that I'm seeing the Xbox 360 version. I never played it in depth, but I think I played the demo and I remember it.
Okay. Let me look it up. Xbox 360.
Oh wait, never mind. That was a picture of Battlegrounds. Oh wow, this is old. I thought this was a new game.
No, yeah, it looks it's a 2D style brawler game.
Yeah, it was out on the 360.
Yeah, I didn't play it, so I have no comment on it. And so yeah, that's basically all I can say about that.
Yeah, I mean, from what I remember, it was fun at least, fun-ish.
Fun-ish.
It was okay.
All right. You want to read the next one?
Yeah, sure.
All
right.
You read the next one?
All right, this one comes from Brian. And that's Ryan, not Brian, even though I said that weirdly.
I thought you said Brian.
Hello, my name's Ryan, and I'm wondering if there will be a future patch/DLC that will add a mode for there to be computer-controlled allies to account for possible lack of other online players for the co-op mode. Thanks for your time. I just want to say, Ryan, thank you for the question. I appreciate it. In the future, make sure to give your question a subject, so we know that what you're talking about. We assume it's Phantom Breaker. If not, then props for giving us a non sequitur that is kind of funny if you don't have any context. I don't know.
Yeah. I know. See, first, like you said, we assume that this is about Phantom Breaker, but we don't know. And even if we did know it was about Phantom Breaker, we still don't know.
Yeah.
No idea if there's any future DLC or anything to add computer allies. I don't know anything about the game really. This is another question where if we had thought about it at the time, we probably could have asked a reviewer some of these questions. Mm-hmm. But we didn't. That didn't happen. So sorry for not being able to answer your question. And like Miles said, thank you for submitting it though.
Yeah.
No idea. No idea.
Maybe. There you go.
Maybe.
I've heard that it might possibly, in time, be a thing that could happen.
All right. Now, this next question is probably my favorite.
Yes.
Just because of how, nonsensical it or whatever it is. Okay. It's from Pylord X, who didn't even give us his name his or her name. And the question is, and this is word for word how the exact email goes. It says, "How do I make quality lasagna? ? Please give me game."
Well, first, you need to get your shells. Then you need to get your sauce. And then you need to get your cheese and your meats. And you smack them all together and you bake it. And it comes out delicious.
You throw that shit in the oven.
There you go. You know how to make lasagna.
You make sure the oven's on, first of all. Just don't put it in there and assume it'll cook.
If you really want to be sure that your oven is working, you crawl up in there and you close the door and you just sit there.
You wait.
You'll know.
No, okay. The best answer I can give you is Google that shit.
I'm sure Rachel Ray has an amazing, recipe for this.
Google and people who know what they're doing could tell you better than I could. I don't cook very well. Yeah. So, anyways.
I don't cook lasagna, so.
Yeah, I've never cooked it. Last question. You want to read it or you want me to?
I got it. All right, let's do this. This one comes from John. We're gonna call him John Doe because it's one of those names. Oh God, I already messed up. I'm emailing about that free PBB game if it's still available. Hoping to get it. Anyway, the question: since I saw this on the Vita board, might as well ask a Vita-related one. I'm going to assume that this is general knowledge. But almost everyone on the game board considers the Vita as a dying device. But those, wow, God damn it, while the grammar,
you're struggling, man.
I can't read things when the grammar's off. While those who own one protect it like their own child, I am one of those people. So since it has a small yet dedicated fan base, do you guys think that the Vita was a flop? Will it die anytime soon? I strongly hope not, or believe not. Can a game revive any interest for the Vita? And if any, what game? Anyway, hope you guys can read this. Whew, good sir. And hopefully I can get that game. Oh my God.
Okay, so as horrible as Miles' reading skills are.
Hey, you try and read that out loud without preparing for it.
And as few, there are a few typos in here and stuff like that. This is actually the question where we voted as the best. So John, thank you for submitting it. You are a winner. I will email you if you haven't listened to this.
Hooray!
But now to the answer.
Yes.
Okay. I don't consider the Vita a dying device. I actually consider it a thriving device right now. It's doing significantly better than it has done in the past. However, that being said, that does not mean that it's getting AAA huge games, which are two different things. It doesn't have to be getting those to be thriving. And just because it's not doesn't mean that it's a dying device. However, also, do I think it'll die anytime soon? No, I do not. I absolutely do not. Sony is not going to give up on it. However, they may not focus on it as much as they're focused on PS4, but there's a reason for that. PS4 is doing extremely well, and they want it to keep doing well. The Vita's been out for a while, and it's doing okay as it is, and they don't need it to do significantly better for them to be successful. But you do ask also, if any, what game could revive it? If there was a game, a lot like Pokemon did on the Game Boy.
Oh, God, man.
Pokemon did that on the Game Boy. So there could easily be a game that revives the Vita. Because Pokemon came out several years after the Game Boy came out. And it wasn't doing very well. Pokemon revived it, and it basically just the mobile gaming or handheld gaming environment or whatever you'd call it, market just exploded after that. Pokemon is responsible for a lot of what happens today in handheld gaming. So that could easily happen to the Vita. Now, we talked earlier about Freedom Wars.
Yep.
That could be the one. Not saying it will be. It very easily could be. It's doing significantly. It's doing very well in Japan. Now, whether or not that's going to happen here, who knows? It remains to be seen. Hopefully it does. I would love to see the Vita explode because of one really, really good game. And hopefully that's Freedom Wars. If not, I'm sure next year's going to have a few big games also. Because, Tales of Hearts R is a huge game for the US to get, or the West to get. But at the same time, that's not going to move units. So it's the Tales of Hearts R is a game that everybody who has it already wants, not people who don't have a Vita are going to buy. So.
Yeah. Now, my opinion on this is slightly differing from Courtney's, but not like drastically. I think that the Vita needs work personally, because I don't know if everyone knows, but I'm not really a fan of the Vita. Mainly due to the UI. I'll admit that I found it really clunky and difficult to use, and also because of my bony skeletal hands and my fingers, which don't really work with handhelds very well. And also just like, I don't really have time to play handhelds. Like if I'm at home, I'll be on my PlayStation or my laptop. I'm not going to sit there on my Vita, which, that might change if a good enough game comes out. And I groaned and made my comment when you said Pokemon, because I was thinking of jokingly saying PlayStation Pokemon coming out November. So that would actually, for me, that would definitely save the Vita if, they came out with, just one really good, sick title that I could play with myself and friends, maybe. I know if they came out with a Monster Hunter for it in America, I would probably be more willing to pick it up, because I've been really wanting to play some Monster Hunter. But, it's certainly a system that can still be saved. It's not 5 miles out in the water surrounded by sharks. But, it just needs work, in my opinion.
Yeah. It's hopefully we'll see a revival. If it is in fact down or dying or dead, anything like that. Hopefully it doesn't need a revival. It just needs a boost, is what it really needs. Just a boost. Anyway, so again, thank you everyone who submitted questions. Hopefully we'll have more giveaways like this just randomly each and every week or every other week or something. And then the bigger giveaways we'll publicize more, so you'll see about those. And John, again, you are the winner. I will email you if you have not listened within the first day or two and give you your code. Let's move on to the game releases this week.
Congratulations, John.
Yeah. Congrats, bro. You get some Phantom Breaker Battlegrounds. 2D. Yeah, get some. Okay, so out this week on PlayStation 3. As I said earlier, Tales of Exilia 2 is out. Along with Tales of Exilia, you also get Counter Spy, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, and Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition. On PlayStation 4, you get Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition, Counter Spy, Hotline Miami, Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare, and The Last Tinker City of Colors. And then on PlayStation Vita, Sword Art Online Hollow Fragment. Okay, and of those, I'm excited for Tales of Xillia, Sword Art Online, and possibly Diablo. I kind of want to give it a chance.
I want to try it on PlayStation 4 because
Yeah.
yeah,
And I kind of want to give Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare a chance also, like just for the hell of it.
I don't really care so much about that one.
Yeah, but it's a first-person shooter game, so it's like, I might try that. But all right, you want to cover the Xbox's Microsofts?
You know, I don't think I will, but Deckard Cain might. Anyway, I'm
What?
sorry. That's a Diablo reference.
Oh, okay.
I was going to do the voice, but I feel like the joke's dead now.
All right.
Just like Deckard Cain.
Oh.
So Xbox 360, you guys are also getting Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition. Xbox One is also getting Diablo 3 Ultimate Evil Edition. Unfortunately, those are the only releases for the Xbox console family this week. PC is getting Chess 2, the sequel, which is a ridiculous name.
The sequel.
Chess 2, the sequel. That's like trying the least, amount possible.
Yeah, we didn't know it was a sequel based on the number 2.
Yeah, I was surprised.
So
honestly.
they had to clarify that it actually is the sequel to Chess 1, or just Chess.
I was taken aback, to be honest. You'll also be getting Shadowgate, Grim Legends: The Forsaken Bride, Neon XSZ, Centris, Commando Jack. So that's what all PC is going to be getting. Be happy.
Good times.
Good times, yeah. Wii U is getting nothing this week. So, that's fun.
Wah, wah.
Yeah. And the 3DS is getting Demon King Box.
Which we have somebody reviewing.
Oh, I don't even know what that is.
Yeah, I don't either.
I'm not sure if it's a boxing game or if it's another innuendo. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? We'll find out whenever our review comes out.
Ho. Keep a lookout for that.
Yeah. It should be out like tomorrow, I think, since the game comes out tomorrow. I don't know.
I don't know either.
Anyways, so that wraps up episode 47 of the Middle of Nowhere Gaming Podcast. Thank you all once again for listening. Let's see, was this one a shorter one? It's about normal. It's almost an hour. You can listen to our podcast normally on every Wednesday. However, school is about to start for Lou and I. So that means that we're going to probably change some stuff around. So timing and stuff, that'll probably have to happen based on class schedules and work schedules and stuff. So on the next podcast, on episode 48, we will announce if there is any changes. There may not be, but it seems like every semester so far we've had to change stuff around. You can always email us at mong.podcast@gmail.com or at contact.mong@gmail.com. And you can find us on Twitter at mong.com, all spelled out, .ancom. And you can find us on YouTube at Mong Network, and on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, or Facebook, Instagram, and Tumblr by just searching for Middle of Nowhere Gaming. And then the website, obviously, middleofnowheregaming.com. Be sure and check that out for all the latest news and reviews and editorials and stuff. We've had a lot of good editorials lately, and a lot of news. Last week, 90 or 100 stories, something like that.
Something like that.
Because of Gamescom. And then we're going to have a lot of reviews coming up since we are in the busy season. So be sure and check that out. And also like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And you can find us on Twitter. You can find me on Twitter at Osborne_2009. You can find Miles at
Furious Milk.
Because his milk is furious.
Yes, it's so furious.
So we'll talk to you guys again next week on episode 48. Monk?
Bye.
Monk?
I don't want to say it.
Monk?
Monk.